Okay, this is the video for 5.1. What I'm going to do is go through each page of the homework and just pick out a few problems that many people seem to have trouble with. I'll just give you some examples, and then I want you to go back and rework the problems that you missed and see if you can get them this time. So let's start with number 2 on 5-1. It says 3/5 is what compared to 7/10? Well, the only way to really compare things is to make them look the same. If we don't make them look the same, then we don't always know what we're talking about. So I have a 5 and a 10 here. What I think the easiest thing to do here would be change this 3/5 into something that has 10 on the bottom. Now to do that, to go from 5 to 10, I had to multiply times 2. And if I do that to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So that makes this 6/10. So now my new problem is 6/10 is what compared to 7/10? Well, if I had 10 pieces of pie, if there were 10 pieces in a whole pie, and I really liked this pie, which one would let me have more pie? 7 of the pieces out of the 10? Or the pieces out of the 10? Well, 7 would be more. So 7 is greater. And let's see, I'm going to try and squeeze number 9 in. This was something else that people missed a lot. It's -4/18 compared to -6/27. Well, in this case, what I decided would be the easiest thing to do. Now, you certainly could find a common multiple. That's what we did up here. We said that 5 could be changed to 10, so let's just do that. That's what we did in the first problem. Here, I kind of noticed that I could reduce these. Now, not sure what's going to happen when I reduce them, but that's the first try. So 4/18, 2 goes into both 4 and 18. And don't forget your negative sign. So 2 goes into 4 twice, and 2 goes into 18 9 times. And over here, I look at 6 and 27. 6 doesn't go into 27, but 3 goes into both 6 and 27. So if I use 3, if I say 3 goes into 6 twice, and 3 goes into 27 9 times, then turns out those two are actually equal. I'm going to get a clean page and find something else to work on. Let's see. Here's one that people seem to have some trouble with. Number 20. It says we have 28xy squared, and we have 42 x squared y. And they want us to find the lowest common multiple of each of these numbers. Well, a multiple, remember, is if I sit here and I say, find the multiple of 2. Well, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, 8. Those are the multiples of 2. Now they want us to do it with some bigger numbers, like 28. And I sat down without my calculator, so I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. So 28, the multiples of 28. Let's see, we've got 28, 56, 84, and multiples of 42. 42 times 1 is 42, 42 times 2 is 84. Look, I just wrote down the same number. So my lowest common multiple for the part, at least, is going to be 84. Now I have the variables, and this is what I think threw you guys off, because I think you understand the multiple thing. So I have an x and a y squared. That's an x, a y, and a y. And for the 42, I have x squared y, which is an x and a y. Well, I have to take, I've got the number. I'm going to write that down here. The number is going to be 84. For the variables, I have to take at least one of every number that's used, and I have to take the highest power that it's used. So there's 2 y's used in this number and 1 y used here. So I'm going to have to use a y. And I'm going to have to use it to the highest power it was used. So it was used twice here. So I'm going to have a y squared. And here I have y to the first, and this was really y squared. So they each have a y. I'm going to use a y, and I'm going to use it to the highest power that it was used. So I'm also going to use an x squared. And of course, we usually write, that's an x, our variables in the order that they go in the alphabet. So x would come before y. So my final answer would be 84 x squared y squared. A lot of you missed number 22. I showed you all the multiples that I used, but this one I didn't. So let's say it says a quality control inspector in an egg factory checks every 48th egg for cracks and every 54th egg for weight. What is the number of the first egg each day that the inspector checks for both? Well, if he's checking for, let's see, this one was cracks, and this one was weight. He's going to check number 48. He's going to check number 96. He's going to check, let me see, 38 times 3 is 144. That seems high. And the next one he's going to check is 192. And let's just, those are the multiples of 48. Looks like maybe I made a mistake when I was doing the answer key. So maybe you all did get this right, and I'm the one that got it wrong. Let's see, 54, 108, 162, 216, 270, 324. Well, so far I haven't had anything match up. Let me go back to this one, 192. And the next multiple of 48 is 240. And 288. And 336. And 384. I'm going to run out of room. And 432. So far nothing. I'm going to go back down here to 54. 324 plus 54 is 378 is 432. Finally, I got a number that was the same. So when he checks egg 432, he will be checking it for both cracks and weight. These are all the ones he's going to check for cracks. He's going to check number 48, number 96, number 144, every 48th egg, and he's going to check every 54th for weight. So at 54 and 108 and 162, and by the time he gets to 432, they will line up. Obviously, if you look at my answer on number 22, I did that one wrong. I said 134, so I must have been trying to rush and do that in my head. And we know what happens when we try and rush, right? We make mistakes. So I made a mistake. Hopefully you guys had 432, and the reason so many of you said you missed it is because my answer was wrong. So hopefully you were right and I was wrong. So that's all I'm going to do for 5-1. Go back, work your problems again, see if that helped any, and I'm going to go make a video for 5-2.